noise.
Then I ain't going
nowhere.
I ain't blowing no smoke. I mean, I've been sober, but you should've known it.
Is this thing on? Because we got some shit to say.
It's a lie on me. That's all I'm saying.
Big Joe Sherman wants you to look at his face and listen.
I don't know this lady from anywhere.
You've never met her.
Never in my life.
He's talking about this woman, Thalia Graves, who appeared at a highly promoted news conference last week with attorney Gloria Allred.
The trauma of the assault has taken a toll on my mental health.
The attorney for Graves announcing a federal lawsuit claiming that in 2001, the then 25-year-old was drugged and bound and viciously raped in the Manhattan headquarters of Bad Boy Entertainment by music mogul Sean Diddy Combs with his bodyguard and head of security Joe Sherman.
I'm not questioning her integrity. I'm questioning her claims against me. I wasn't the head of the security. You got the wrong man. I've never seen you. I've never did anything negative with you. I've never been in the same room with you. Not only wasn't I there, I wasn't even in New York.
Sherman says he did security for Bad Boy Records in the 90s, but wasn't working for the company in 2001.
It's me and Mariah Carey.
Sherman provided us with his personal album of photos with celebrity clients he says he's protected over the years.
Me and Beyonce.
He says he did see Diddy at industry parties after Sherman left the company, but there was no relationship. Big Joe maintains he is being set up by false accusations.
Her and whoever that she's in cahoots with was orchestrating a money grab, and she wanted me to be part of that money grab. It says it right in her texts. She wanted to get Diddy.
Sherman showed us texts from an Instagram account starting last November. He says his team has linked to Graves. We confirmed the connection. The first text asked if Sherman was a security guard for Puffy.
She confused me because she kept saying, "Are you Big Joe?" I said, "You're on my Instagram."
When she asked, "Are you Big Joe?" what did that mean to you?
That means that she don't know who I am.
The text asked him to call the number and goes on to say, "If you will be my witness against Diddy, then my attorneys will leave you out of any proceedings because we have statements that you physically showed over 8 people, videos of me and you to people in the studio." Sherman responded, "I don't know what the expletive you talking about. Know who the expletive you are." He was still named in the lawsuit. Was there any video?
Not only was there never a video, I never saw the woman. I'm nothing but a scapegoat for this BS. Because I wouldn't get Puffy and lie on Sean Combs.
We reached out to Allred asking about the texts and Sherman's denial that he was involved. Her email response, "The complaint speaks for itself. Our client looks forward to her day in court." Allred's lawsuit describes Sherman as being involved in a company that produces and distributes pornography.
I don't show nude women.
He says his media outlets publish urban rap magazines that often feature scantily clad women, arguing the photos are similar to ones he's posted on social media.
Am I wrong for having fun on my birthday? Yes, I did all that. I'm single. You can call me that. But I never disrespected or seen this woman in my life. Come on. It's a money grab because they told you it's a money grab. And she know that what she did to me destroyed my family, destroyed my livelihood. I can't get a job.
Sherman's legal team says they plan on filing a counterclaim in the near future that will likely include defamation. Combs' attorneys have not yet responded to the lawsuit. Sarah Wallace, News.
So we all know that Thalia Graves did a media interview in regards to her lawsuit with Diddy, and Big Joe, his name is Joseph, but he goes by Big Joe, is also named in this lawsuit. He was formerly one of Bad Boy's security guards. He is named in this lawsuit of being one of the assailants who attacked her alongside of Diddy, recorded it, and has been distributing this video. Not only did he do the news interview, he also did call up to weigh up with Angela Yee and did a phone interview, and I'm going to play that as well for those who may not have heard it, before we go further into this because it's hella messy. Who was accused of being on these tapes, it's alleged tapes, with Diddy and this young lady, Thalia Graves. Here is what he said when he denied this on NBC.
Well, I'm not questioning her integrity. I'm questioning her claims against me. I wasn't the head of the security. You got the wrong man. I've never seen you. I've never did anything negative with you. I've never been in the same room with you. Not only wasn't I there, I wasn't even in New York.
All right, now the thing about Big Joe is he is very adamant that he is
not gone.
You know, some people would be like, "Oh, did a lawyer tell you not to say anything?" He's like, "I don't care. I didn't do it. I'm not there." He has text messages between them that he wants to make sure that people know about and can see, because from the text messages, and Mano, you know what it says because you know.
Right, the DMs.
Oh yeah, the DMs. Basically, it seems like she's trying to confirm that he worked with Puff. And then also confirmed that there was a video shown on a camcorder. And he's like, and she also says, if you're not the same person, then I apologize. She said. So it seems like she's not sure if Big Joe was the person that she's alleging is on this tape. Now, Big Joe called us because, you know, clearly this is something that if you feel that you're being wrongly accused of something, you're going to defend yourself.
Saying it loud.
Which most people do not do. Let's make that very clear. Most people in this situation are told by their lawyer not to speak on it, not to do these public interviews. However, being that Joe is a security guard and he does deal with high clientele people who want their privacy, I do think that plays a big part in why he's speaking out in regards to this. I'm not saying that it's making his case any better, but I understand why he's speaking out. But y'all just keep listening. With Thalia Graves.
Not only did she DM me, she tried to guide me through the DMs if you read them. She tried to explain to me, all I need you to do is write a statement like Barnes did, like other people did. I need you to write a statement and I'll keep you out. I said, keep me out of what? But then she got into the threat. Then she brought up, well, me and Mr. J. Prince will be down there.
All right, now, I don't know what J. Prince has. Y'all caught that name drop? I don't even know where J. Prince comes into all of this because what? This shit finna be so crazy, so messy, and bananas. But keep listening because it kind of makes things add up, or at least make sense. Whichever way, whatever they're trying to do, it kind of just listen. Anything. But you had a question for him.
Absolutely.
Okay.
What you got to do with this though?
It was brought to my attention later on that Jay Prince, something I don't know about, had a beef with Puffy about slapping Drake. And Drake was calling Jay Prince, going off of him for not taking up for him against Puffy. And I'm like,
what? How the fuck did Drake and Jay Prince get into this? Like, what?
That's none of my business, honestly. After listening, and people calling me, explaining to me that Jay Prince's lawyer is the one who put them 100 people together. I think Jay Prince is one of the main culprits behind slandering and trying to destroy Puff's character.
Now these are all allegations. We don't know what's
So
true
is
and
it
what's
the
not.
lawyer thing, right? So is that really his law?
So, in case y'all didn't catch what he was saying, Big Joe is allegedly saying that the lawyer that's in Texas that has 120 so-called alleged victims of Diddy that is connected to Jay Prince. This lawyer is based in Texas. So I can see how he can try to piece that together, but that's... So, are you alleging that all of this was coercion and set up by Jay Prince and they trying to work with the federal government to take Diddy down? That's a lot. Through this whole ordeal, Jay Prince has not been mentioned in anything until now. until now. Thalia Graves is located in Texas currently, which is also interesting. And I'm going to get into the things within her lawsuit next to give you an idea what's going on. As far as Big Joe, I understand why he's out here trying to save face. I don't know what putting Jay Prince's name out there in regards to this is going to help or hinder his case or this situation. But if she is lying and you can prove that you were not in New York and you were no longer a bad boy employee, please provide receipts, because this is your livelihood. Even being associated with that, it's not looking good for anybody. But this is very public, very public, and this man has a family to feed, so I get why he's talking. But throwing Jay Prince's name in this is wild. Outside of the lawyer being in Texas and the lady being in Texas, we gonna need some more information about this Jay Prince theory, because what is going on with that? How Jay Prince get in this? Drake? Like, what this got to do with Drake? So that's a crazy allegation, but definitely keeping tabs on this as well, and I will keep you guys updated as there is more to come. So on September 24th, Thalia Graves, which is the young lady in the white shirt, filed a lawsuit against Sean Diddy Combs and Joseph Sherman, that goes by Big Joe, in regards to a alleged SA allegation that took place in 2001. I'm sorry, 2001. So basically, the breakdown of this lawsuit, this is a brief of what the lawsuit states, what happened, and why she's just now following a lawsuit in regards to this. And of course, I'm going to give you commentary about my opinions along the way, because that's what I do. Duh. So apparently, Miss Graves met Diddy through her boyfriend who worked for a bad boy. May I add, he is not named anywhere in this lawsuit, which is wild to me, and you'll see why. Because I got questions for the boyfriend. So basically, Miss Graves' boyfriend worked for Diddy. That's how she got to meet Diddy and be in association with him. And apparently, Diddy reached out to her in regards to her boyfriend's work performance, and wanted to meet with her to discuss her boyfriend's work performance. In all the years that I've been working, and I've been working since I was 16, even then my parent could not talk to my employer about my performance at work, about me being late, my parent was not allowed to talk to my employer about my performance at work. So y'all know what I'm about to ask. Like, why would he be calling you to talk to you about your boyfriend's job? Now, if you're a manager, if you're managing your boyfriend, I get it. Because you would be the person of contact in regards to reaching out to you in regards to your boyfriend's performance. It does not state that Ms. Graves is a manager. I have Googled my life away. I do not look people up. Like, I'm not doing no background checks. I ain't that motherfucking invested, and I got a life and shit to do, so I ain't taking it that far. Now, if y'all know somebody that do and want to slide the info, I'd be more than willing to, discuss. But as for me, I don't have the time. But I did try to find out who her boyfriend was. There was no name of her boyfriend in the claim. There's no knowledge of who this boyfriend was that Diddy had to reach out to her in regards to talk to her in regards to his work performance. So she went to meet up with Diddy, got in his truck. He offered her a drink. She said it was wine. She took a sip and then she was woozy. And then she just remembers waking up inside of the studio and being tied down, like bound down. And when she was waking up, he was walking in, babied oiled up, no pun intended, like this was legit in her lawsuit. And he SA'd her through anally. And then she defecated on him. He wiped it off and then vaginally SA'd her. And then basically when he was done, she passed out during the process, but when he was done, she woke up to the bodyguard being over her, and then basically he took his turn with her. And allegedly this Diddy would use this as a way to talk down on her boyfriend, or to like use it against him in a way. It's the way it's kind of stated in the lawsuit. And she did say she suffered for years from it. She's been to counseling and all this other stuff. She's been to counseling, therapy, been depressed, all that stuff. So this did happen, and there is a lawsuit, and she's filing money for this. I would assume that there would be some kind of record of these doctor visits along the way. So that's going to be interesting if that has to be provided. And the reason why she's waiting to now is because she's saying that the video is just now being distributed, which, based on the lawsuit, literally days after the Cassie deal was settled, this tape started to be distributed, and that's when she got word of it, and that's why she's now filing. And Big Joe allegedly has a distribution company, and he is producing the tape. Now, we've seen in the indictments how it does say that Diddy does have cameras all around his house. And we've seen, if you haven't, there's all kind of stuff swarming around. So, but they've been said that there are videotapes around and that they've been selling them, and people have been trying to sell them, not just her, but other people as well, in regards to finding out if they're on the tapes. Even some celebrities, if they're found out that they've been recorded, that they're trying to get those tapes before they go out. So I don't know, but Big Joe said it wasn't him, he wasn't there, and he ain't got nothing to do with it, despite him having a publishing company. So whew, this shit messy. Like, and she live in Texas, and they trying to say that Jay Prince sent her. That's what Big Joe allegedly saying. It's a lot. It's a fucking lie. It's a fucking lie. And now with so much stuff going on, it is hard as hell to tell what's real and what's fake. I want to know who the fucking boyfriend is. I want to know who he is. He work for Bad Boy. Who is this horrible boyfriend that his boss reached out to him to talk to his girlfriend about his work performance? Was he an artist? Is that why they reached out? Were you his manager? Was he an artist in 2001? I can't imagine Diddy reaching out to a board member or a producer's girlfriend to discuss their job. I'm just going to assume it was the artist. That's the only thing that can wrap my mind around why he reached out to her, because she may have been managing him. Other than that, who is this boyfriend that worked for Diddy? We need names. We need names. Joe said he wasn't working now. Diddy can't say nothing right now. He occupied. Can't have visitors. or limited visitors at least. But we need this boyfriend. Who is this boyfriend that worked for Diddy, that dated Thalia Graves in 2001, that Diddy allegedly set up this meeting to talk to her about in regards to his performance? Who is the boyfriend? We need to talk to him. He need to come to the front congregation. We got some questions. Where he at?
What are you hearing tonight?
I actually received the New York Post article from the person who contacted me to sell the tape. They sent me that article. I was not shocked by what I read in the article. I was hoping that even the client that I contacted would reach out and see and kind of alert that person that this was going on and to possibly help them. The person who has the tape really doesn't want to shop it around. They really want to help and give it to wanted to directly sell it to that person, but it seems as if they are going elsewhere.
You know, we know that you've seen the footage. You talked about that last week when you were with us. So, you know, as you know who it is, and I know that you can't tell us who it is for all the reasons, right? But as you know who it is, and as we're moving through this story, and it's starting to really feel like it's unraveling, and you feel bad for the person, and we don't even know who it is there anything more you can tell us about that part of it?
I really do feel bad about the person. Part of the reason that I did come and say something outside of just to protect my own safety, but I wanted to sound the alarm, essentially, bring the dog whistle, if you will, to that person that maybe they should do something about this before it came out. Mm-hmm. If I was them, I would do something about this, and the only way to do anything is to do the catch and kill. That's the only way to ensure that it doesn't come out. You know, we're taught that God helps those who help themselves. So if we have a situation where that person does have the opportunity to purchase the video, if I were them, I would absolutely purchase the video.
Wow. Well, do you think this is going to surface publicly? I mean, are we getting close to that moment?
From what I'm hearing, I think so. I'm hearing whispers that there is at least one major network, possibly two, in a bidding war for that footage. So I believe we're sooner rather than later maybe finding out, unless that person comes and purchases the video themselves, which is really the goal of the people who have the video. They just, you know, at this point, if that person doesn't want to purchase it, then it's going to go on the open market.
Wow. You know, we've been hearing that this has been going on in Hollywood for a really long time. This is just the latest, but this is such a big deal, obviously, for all the people that are involved. You know, even if the sex was consensual, the footage was illegal, being obtained without the subject's knowledge. So how is this possible? How does the sale and the release of this work legally?
So I think that's the issue here. After reading a Post article, it seems that if the filming was not, the person was not aware that they were being filmed. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, that comes into a secondary issue of if this person was not aware, which is again why the first goal was not to take it to the open market. But then that's an issue for the purchaser who ends up purchasing the video. That's their legal problem to then overcome, not necessarily the seller's problem.
Now, recently, Diddy case has been, it's going to become more private as his lawyer has filed for it where none of the information can be disclosed, put on social media, which I get because before he gets to trial, he's already been judged by the public. So I understand, and I get it. He was also denied bail. He was trying to do a $50 million bail. He was denied bail. He did ask for it again and was denied, but did not go up on his increase of the amount. So some are wondering, is his assets dwindling down from this? I'm sure they are. Like, this is the government's MO is they're going to try to drain you financially. That's their MO. We paying for them to do this shit. It's not coming out of their pocket. As far as it's coming out of his pocket. And the less money that he has, the less money he can use to pay good lawyers to fight them. That's just the reality of it. But past that, Miss Janice, Diddy's mother, finally made a public statement. And it states, I come here to you today as a mother that is devastated and profoundly saddened by the allegations made against my son, Sean Combs. It is heartbreaking to see my son judged not for the truth, but for the narrative created out of lies. To bear witness what seems to be a public lynching of my son before he has had the opportunity to prove his innocence is a pain too unbearable to put into words. Like every human being, my son deserves to have his day in court to finally share his side and prove his innocence. There's more. I'm not here to portray my son as perfect, because he is not. He has made mistakes in his past, as we all have. My son may not have been entirely truthful about certain things, such as denying he was never gotten violent with an ex-girlfriend when the hotel surveillance showed otherwise. Sometimes the truth and the lie become so closely intertwined that it becomes terrifying to admit one part of the story, especially when the truth is outside of the norm or is too complicated to believe. This is why I believe my son's civil legal team opted to settle the ex-girlfriend's lawsuit instead of contesting it to the end, resulting in the effect of the federal government. Basically, they are using Cassie's lawsuit. However, Miss Combs, you mean to tell me everybody around allegedly saw him whooping Kim ass and Cassidy ass, and you didn't know he was beating their ass? You only mentioned the Cassie video because you had to, like your son, because it's public knowledge now. You can't deny it. And I find it very interesting that you used, and I quote, what the hell is that? Sometimes the truth and the lie become so closely intertwined that it's terrifying to admit one part of the story. Let's break that down. It is hard to admit one part of the story. It was hard for, he didn't admit that he beat her ass. Let's get that out of the way. Let's keep it G, Miss Combs. He never admitted to beating her ass. He denied. Paid for the fucking tape and still denied. So, if he lied about that and that is the truth, what is the fucking truth? You raised this man. You've been around this man. Your name, some of them lawsuits say Janice Combs because your name affiliated with a lot of the businesses. Diddy is smart, I'm sure, to protect his assets, a lot of that shit in your name. So they can't just take everything away from him if there is some of the shit in your name. Your name is some of them, some of them companies. What part of it is your son telling the truth? Because he said he didn't whoop that girl ass despite it being on tape, Miss Combs. I get that's your child and you should defend him. You should have just stayed quiet. Wait till trial. And you waited so long. You waited till after they filed for everything to be quiet for you to make your statement. So that's PR. I ain't mad at it. That's a PR statement, and it was well written. It was very well written. You tried to say your son is innocent and people are just judging and the people are lying on him. But he lied on himself. He lied and said he didn't do something that there's proof that he's done. There's tapes at this house, so we're gonna find out. They can seal as much as they want to seal, but they will not be able to make it where the media don't see what's going on in their courtroom. Ain't no way in hell they're not going to. It's too public. They're not going to let the public see what's going on in that courtroom, or it's going to get leaked. It's going to get out. Whatever. I get that's your son, but this wouldn't move, Miss Combs. Support your son. But simmer down. Simmer the fuck down. You knew what he was doing. He was over there beating the women ass and you ain't say shit. You seen him lying about it and you ain't say nothing. Publicly, at least. As long as he buy you meats, jury, and all this other bullshit, you good to go. He ain't whooping your ass. Mama calm. That's your son. You gonna stick beside him. I get him. But simmer the fuck down like you simmered the fuck down while he was dogging the women out and beating their ass. Okay? That's what we gonna need you to do. Mama Combs. Down in Kentucky, a sheriff done unalived the judge. You heard me right. So on September 19th, Judge Kevin Mullins was unalived by Sean, he's known as Mickey Steins. He is the sheriff of this small town. It is a fairly small town, not very many people in this rural area. So allegedly, what transpired before is they were out to lunch at a local diner. They went back. There was some words exchanged, nothing that was out of the ordinary for those who were around. And the judge made a comment, hey, you want to go talk about it when we back in my office? So they went back to the judge's chambers. There is video, which I will not be posting because there is video of the sheriff unaliving this judge in the chamber. And y'all not about to get my channel shut down. That's what we're not doing. And I'm just not posting that. You can go find it on your own. But before this, it's taking everybody by storm in this small town trying to figure out why. So as the court case is going on, because I am definitely keeping up with this trial, because that's what your girl does, because I am a true crime person. That's just what I like. The sheriff uses the judge's phone, picks up the judge's phone. No, I'm sorry. Let me go back. The sheriff picks up his phone, makes a call. Then gets the judge's phone, makes a call. When they went and pulled those records, those calls were made to the sheriff's 15-year-old daughter. You heard that right. So, let me run it back again. The sheriff used his phone to call his daughter, who's 15. I'm assuming she didn't answer. He used his friend, Kevin, the judge, who was unalived, phone to call his daughter. Her number was already saved in his phone. And after that transpired, he fired. I don't know what happened. They're still trying to figure it out as this case goes on. But something in the water ain't clean down in Kentucky. Something already ain't clean because the sheriff is involved in an indictment in regards to another police officer in this small town from a lady who said that she was having intercourse in the judge's chambers with another sheriff for 6 months to avoid jail time. Now, this is before Mr. Kevin had cameras in his judge's chambers. And assuming this other officer was charged. So, they must have had enough evidence to charge Buddy, okay? And that's probably why they added the cameras into judge's office because of this sexual allegation in regards to someone avoiding jail time by having sex with a police officer. I don't know what the hell going on in this small town in Kentucky, but it is messy as hell. And I am keeping tabs on this trial because while we talking about all this other stuff going on in this world, ain't nobody talking about this sheriff that unlike this judge. We need to be talking about it. What's going on in Kentucky? Why does this judge have this 15-year-old girl's phone number in his phone? Something in this Kentucky water ain't clean. So I'll keep y'all guys posted on what's going on in this world with all this true crime and this crazy world we live in. Until then, you guys stay tuned. Like a lot of us, we grew up being kind of familiar with the Menendez trial. If you were an 80s babies, definitely you are familiar with the Menendez trial as well as the OJ trial. And we've all heard the stories. There's multiple documentaries, way more now than they have been in the past. Especially with the documentary that was released on Max in regards to the Menendez boys' father, called Menendez plus Menudo, which is a very good documentary that goes into their father. A lot of information that was not disclosed back in that time and that was withheld in their second trial. They're now trying to get reviewed by a judge, being that they're saying that their father SA'd them when they were minors, basically, and their mom knew and did nothing of it. There's very strong opinions about this case because it's a lot to unpack. Because if in fact that their parents were doing this, there's definitely empathy there that a lot of people understand and feel as if that makes it somewhat justifiable. However, from the evidence that was presented by the case in the terms of how it was convicted, it's murder. There's no simpler way to put it the way that it was presented in the last trial, at least, because they are stating that basically their parents were asleep when they did this assault to them. They were sleeping on the couch and it was planned. So that makes it kind of premeditated. Now, they're thinking that it should be reviewed, and it could be reviewed kind of like, I'm assuming, like a manslaughter or second degree, being that the motive behind it, which plays a factor into things. Despite them being old enough to move out, they still chose to do it because they felt as if that was their only way out of the situation, is unaliving their parents. My question is, with such a harsh crime, do you think that it should be reviewed? If they were assaulted, like they say they were, which, in my opinion, I do think something was there. Judging by all the evidence, even if you look at the first trial, they were family members. There's letters. The courts was hella biased the second case. I don't feel as if they provided all the information, but the boys also did make it look good after their parents were unalive by them, because they went shopping, they were spending money, but they were also rich kids. So spending money and doing all of that is kind of the lifestyle, I'm assuming. I ain't grown no rich kids. But they went on shopping sprees. They were still, I think to me, the part that's creeps me out more than anything is that they were still living in a home. That's a lot. That's a lot to unpack. How it all came out was messy as hell. One of them told the therapist, and the therapist was using it to blackmail. So how all the information was provided to even become for the police to use in this case, it's messy, it's crazy, it's all over the place. But do you think that this should be reviewed? Because ultimately, they planned it. They hid it. And the parents were asleep at the time. So, with that information, do you think that it's fair that they're let free? They have served so far like 30 years. So they've been in there for a long time. So even if they get out now, they've they've served a long time. I will say, in my personal opinion, I do think it should be reviewed with all of the information that should have been provided without bias. Once we receive all the information, not we taking pieces from a documentary, we need to have all the evidence provided. I think it should be reviewed, and I think that they should move forward from there. They have served 30 years in prison. So that's where I'm at with it. They've been in prison a long time. And I can only fathom what they've had to endure while there. So ultimately, True Crime 4, where we at with this? Are we in support of this being reviewed and them possibly getting out? Or do you feel as if that they should stay in there for the remaining of their lives? They have been in there for 30 years already. And they're saying that their parents SA'd them, their mother knew, and them unaliving them was their retaliation. Is serving their 30 years in prison enough after all of the years of the abuse and the punishment that they've received? What are your thoughts? Make sure to like and subscribe on my page and follow me on all social media platforms.